Welcome everybody to the March issue of the Flatcar community call. In the community call, we connect to our users and to contributors, and sometimes we even have demos. It's awesome to see so many people joining today. Flatcar is a CNCF project, and as such, we adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct, which basically means please be nice to each other. If you find someone talking without end, like me currently, just raise your hand, use the raise hand feature, and we will make sure that your voice will be heard. And that's it for the intro. And our first agenda item is saying hi. I see a few new folks here, and how about the new folks step forward and introduce themselves really quick? The regulars don't really need to because we have that recorded anyways. The way this works best is I just pick the first person to introduce themselves, and they pick the next person. That makes the whole thing very exciting. Logan, you mentioned you're short on time. Why don't you start?
Oh, yeah. Hi. I'm Logan Blythe. I'm a very happy Flatcar user. So I work at a company and we use your product. We use Flatcar Linux for our internal testing as well as deploying our control node. And so we use Flatcar K3S and then our kind of control node type thing to work on our product. I've actually been here once before, but it was quite a long time ago. I had a small request for some kernel features that you guys turned on for us, which I really appreciated. And I had fully intended to come back and do a demo when that work was completed. It has not yet been completed. To be fair, I'm not the one doing that work, but it is also a substantial effort. So because it's related to some SmartNIC features that my company is working on. And so I figured of a technical audience, you guys would appreciate it. But the other thing is I run it a little bit at home. I have a small little Flatcar a little ASUS NUC that I'm going to run more K3S related, or honestly just Podman, because I don't even need K3S. But yeah, things I like about Flatcar are you guys, I think, are some of the first or some of the earliest people to do systemd adoption, which I enjoy systemd. Potentially a controversial take depending on what audience you're in, but I think it's useful. Okay, yeah, I mean I think it's useful, and yeah. Other than that, so I also, as a new person, I don't exactly know who else is new. So
that would be, you're right. That was kind of mean. That would be Bruce and Robin, I think.
Bruce.
Hello, I'm Bruce Hamilton. I'm in Seattle, Washington, and I was tasked with. I work for Expert Support, which was an agency that is working with the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, and CNCF has devised. I'm working on the documentation. CNCF has devised an analysis guidance, and for all incubating and projects like Flatcar is, and going on, we do an analysis of the documentation per their criteria, and then from that, funding might be set up for to work on action items and findings. So that's what I'm doing now. It's a really unique. I've been a programmer, technical writer for 25 years, a lot of experience at Microsoft, and more recently I did I worked on Knative and worked on their documentation. So really familiar, getting more familiar with open source and Kubernetes and that container technologies is really great. So I'm working on this, working with Jan and Alexei mostly, and others. Just one question right off, the learning series node in the docs, is that new? I remember seeing like installation and provisioning tools. Is that node kind of new? I might have missed it before.
Yeah, no, you didn't miss it. We just added that, I think, beginning of this week, maybe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or last week's is very, very fresh.
Okay. So as I'm going through the documentation, it's wonderful. There, a lot of content is written so smoothly. When you're a geek, it's written beautifully. So it's just a matter of coordinating the documentation, making making the usual, common, what we all do for good docs. And I think a lot of it's in place. So it's just a matter of, I was tasked with 2 months to get this analysis done. I think it'll be done sooner. And really looking forward to it. This is the most exciting project. So
thank you for getting up. Thank you for getting up so early.
Oh, no problem. It's 7:30 here. And as one grows older, we get up earlier. So you're all in Europe, I assume, mostly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Except Cyan.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm Johnny from India.
Robin.
Hello, my name is Robin. I'm from Germany, so I work at Stackit. It's a German company that's a cloud provider focused on the European market, and we are running Flatcar as the main operating system for our Kubernetes nodes. Yeah. So most of the faces here are new for me, so if there's anyone left, please raise your hand.
We have a fellow Jitsia joining. Not sure if fellow Jitsia wants to intro themselves. If they don't want to and just lurk, that's fine. We're very good with people listening in. All right. I'm going to share our agenda real quick. You can always find the latest agenda in our GitHub discussions. So if you're looking for adding a new agenda item for any of the upcoming meetings, that is the place to go. Okay. I'm going to zoom in a little, make this a little bigger. So, right. We had our welcome round. Something we missed last month because we skipped the developer sync, which is in the 4th week of every month, is calling out first-time contributors. So we had a contribution that added kernel function tracing support for ARM64, basically just enabling a few kernel flags, good stuff. And we had a contribution for the bakery, for the main bakery script. In the help output, there was a typo. That was probably me. And Git Raiku was so nice and fixed it for us. Passing on to the announcement section, that's usually something that Lexi would do. She's our community fanatic person. So we will have a presentation at Rejects about Flatcar running Kubernetes. The focus of that presentation will not be running Kubernetes, but why Kubernetes on Flatcar gives you a very sovereign way and a very safe and secure way to run your stack on without the risk of having a rug pull of your whole stack, or someone trying to arm wrestle you into any dependencies, because that's something we pride ourselves not to do. We'll be around. Mathieu, who's also on this call, will also be around. He will be coordinating the volunteers for Rejects. And Rejects, for everyone who doesn't know, is on the Saturday before KubeCon. So all you need to do is just fly in a little earlier to Amsterdam. Tickets are free. You get the tickets at rejects.io. You just click there, get your ticket, come in, and we'll absolutely be happy to see you. The second is the KubeCon Pavilion. As Bruce mentioned, we are a CNCF incubating project, and we will have a project booth at the KubeCon Amsterdam Project Pavilion. We will be there all of the KubeCon days, and we will be there in the afternoon. So if you want to have a chat with us, come over, discuss stuff, get some Flatcar goodies, please do drop by. Okay. That was for the announcements. Let's go ahead to our agenda items. The first item is the new release. Cyan and/or Mathieu, do you want to have a quick chat on stuff that we're shipping?
I think Matthew can go ahead because he did the release this time.
Yep, sure. Hi everyone. So this week we just released a new Flatcar set of releases. It's a maintenance release for stable, and it's new major for beta and alpha. In alpha, there is this new feature of system deconfexed, mainly driven by Kai. So yeah, if you want to have a look, it's basically system DCSX but applied to /etc. So if confexed. So it's in place. You can already have a look, play with it, and provide your feedback to see any corner case or stuff like that you might find. And yeah, as usual, this will be promoted to beta and after a few months to stable. For the new stable, we have this. For the new maintenance stable, we have the OpenSSH update, which brings a few security fixes. And yeah, other than that, it was mainly kernel and certificates as usual to bring into the current stable. Please give a look to the current beta because we plan to promote the current beta to stable in really soon. So we don't have yet a precise date, but yeah, I think it will be this next release or the release after. We will promote the current beta to stable. So have a look, run things on it. It's stable enough to be run in production for 1 or 2 nodes. So yeah, that would be super awesome to catch any regression before it hits stable. Yeah, that's it for the release.
Amazing, thank you, and good job getting the good stuff out. We have Jan with the new maintainer onboarding.
Hi. So right now we are kind of revamping the way in which we do onboarding for new maintainers. And speaking of which, Robin, who is here, is going to be soon joining us. He has been contributing for quite a while to Flatcar in a meaningful way. So he will be kind of the trailblazer in our new onboarding procedure. Probably a lot of it will be edited and changed. One of the main things we kind of want to add, and this is kind of a call to action for all of our maintainers right now, is if you scroll to the bottom, you'll be able to see a knowledge sharing section. So essentially, one of the things we would like to do is for Robin to have one-on-one or maybe 1 or 2 sessions with 1 or 2 people per an important section of Flatcar that is important, and could learn and discover more, and basically for him to learn more about the project, how it works, right? Yeah, all that. Some things here might be added later if we decide, like, for example, maybe we should probably add one for community and CNCF, right, with maybe Lexi, for example. So yeah, here's that. Essentially, we're going to be going through that later with Robin. Yeah, thank you.
It's always great to see having a little more solid structure as the project grows. So that is amazing work. And Bruce already gave us a little bit of an outlook on what he'll be doing with the project. And we reserved a second slot for you, Bruce. So if you want to go into more detail, then now is the time.
Was that question to me? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
If you want to dive a little deeper into what you want to do with the documentation, then now is a good time.
Okay. Now, basically, I'm going through. I'm just doing a brain dump, going through the documentation right now. I'm looking at all the topics, all the pages, in terms of criteria of the navigation discoverability criteria. I will have a lot more questions to ask probably next week. I need to go through that new learning series node. And what I'm doing is, it's what I sort of like. One thing that I worked with Jan and yesterday was to get a feeling of who's coming into Flatcar. What's their environment? Are they working on a VM? Are they working on bare metal? Are they working on a cloud provider? So we boiled down these user scenarios into basically 2 categories. one the hobbyist, the person doing the bare metal, and more the enterprise developer. High level, and then as we drill down, we'll get more user scenarios. But right now, it's just basically more of a learning process for me this week and getting this learning series and coordinating all these great concepts. I mean, we have like the concepts, and we have like provisioning tools, and we have customization tools. There's butane, ignition. One thing I was sort of struck by, everyone who goes into flat car development, they all don't need to have the same prerequisites as other people do. And so I think there's sort of like different paths going into the documentation based upon their environment and their skill sets and what they want to accomplish. So that makes it a little bit more challenging because it's so versatile in how it's being applied. Starting to babble now, but those are my thoughts for now.
This is not actually. I think everybody in the project is so glad that we have a dedicated person just looking at the documentation from, shall I say, a non-nerd angle. That's I think that's very beneficial for the project. So we're all very thankful this is happening.
Well, it's very exciting for me.
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Bruce. All right. Yeah, so that's our documentation. I just opened up the new learning series as an example. So if you have folks who are new to Flatcar and new to like most of the operational environments Flatcar usually operates in, this one starts like with the super duper basics, and it's meant to carefully kind of pull you into the world of Flatcar without overwhelming you. It does dive really, really deep, like the storage management and updates and rollback automation those are the nitty-gritty bits, but those are the later part of the series. Okay. Some things that Cyan and I have been musing about is to make the release process and the build automation process and all of these parts of Flatcar way more automated and easier. Releases are pretty automated compared to what other distributions do, but there's room for a lot more. You want to take that on, simplify things, and also, I mean, it's a little bit selfish as well because we want to not do the boring boilerplate work that we sometimes have to do in the release process. And we have a North Star. That's not necessarily something that we will achieve, but it's something that we're going to work towards. And that North Star is to have nightly releases, to be able to reuse the nightly builds that we're doing to be official releases. We don't do the full tests on all cloud vendors for each nightly, but imagine that the only thing we would need to add to make it an official release is running the additional tests. That would be so nice. Not sure if we can get there, but definitely something that we're investigating.
I do have a question. Who's in charge of the web publishing of the Flatcar document? Like, converting the markdown to HTML.
This is automated, and this is in the. Let me check the. Oh, I'm just gonna steal this URL here. So this is. It's the Flatcar website repository, and when you when you file a PR to that repository, you will get the website is hosted on Azure Static Web Pages, and we are basically using that integration in the back end to automate most of the boring parts. So if we check, I don't know if this has a preview. It has a preview. Okay, so for these PRs, if you're a maintainer, then previews are generated automatically. if you're a contributor, an outside contributor, you will need a maintainer to press a button in order to get the preview. But I mean, other than that, it just gives you a full version of the full website, and the whole Hugo rendering happens in that job. And then when every PR is merged, so for every merge, the same kind of job runs, but it doesn't give you like this this preview URL. It actually publishes to flatcar.org. So as soon as you get a change merged, that is being published automatically.
Okay. Just like a question, like in like a code examples, you don't see the bash or the different language it is you see in other documentation, or like border around the code. Those little graphical things are different.
Yeah, that is part of the Hugo theme we are using, and I just saw a PR actually that extends this at least a little bit, so we get a copy paste button, and that's the one here. But yeah, this largely depends on the Hugo theme that we're using. And I see Cyan has his hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that. So usually the website work we usually do on a maintenance mode days, and we until very recently, like we were on a very older version of Hugo and Bootstrap. And Arvin I don't know if he's on the call, but yeah, he's on the call. So Arvin actually migrated it to the latest Bootstrap, and so that we can utilize a couple of the features and styling. And so yeah, we are slowly adding those features, and we probably need to look through the code samples and to see that it's more interactive with in to the developer or the user of Flatcar.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a good question. It's definitely something users expect from other websites, and that's something we should have. And we recently added support for mermaid diagrams, which wasn't there before, just because the learning series uses them. So we can now have diagrams.
Yeah, that's so great. Mermaid is fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's the thing. We already entered open mic time with questions about how the documentation works. And by the way, Flatcar website PRs are really, really low threshold. So if you see anything that you don't like in the Flatcar documentation, you just go, is it here? No. We used to have a button that leads you directly to the repository. It's probably here. So you just go here. So this gets you directly to the markdown that is responsible for that page. And then you probably want to fork Flatcar.
Yeah, I forked and I have a
make
fork
your
going.
changes exactly, and then file. But we love documentation PRs. We are well aware of the shortcomings of our docs, and any changes, big or small, are very welcome. All right. Open mic time, second part. Robin, I don't know if you want to share anything from your end regarding contributions or becoming a maintainer.
I don't have anything to share from my side.
Cool. Then we're just looking forward to future collaboration. We're always happy for collaborators or maintainers who potential maintainers who step forward and want to collaborate closer. That is what the project's looking for, and it's amazing to have you join the maintainers team.
I just want to add one quick little caveat about AI.
Mm-hmm.
I will check different models, different, Gemini and the others, just to see with open source, what's out there. There's not you don't have like NDA issues with the private company material, things like that.
Yeah.
But I always check, and I'm always, AI can be overconfident. But one thing AI will do is like it'll create a mermaid chart, So I just want the team to know that I'm very cognizant of AI being overconfident, and I won't let things spill into the docs that way. So
the way we see it as a project in general is if a developer or contributor chooses to use AI as a supportive tool, just like we're using code completion and other tools, that doesn't change anything about the responsibilities that person has towards their PRs, right? They need to fully own the changes that are in the PRs, up to and including sensitive topics like performance, side effects, copyright, all of these things. We just expect from contributors that they own their contributions, and I think that isn't too low threshold. Jan.
So I actually wanted to mention one feature of VS Code when it comes to Copilot and whatever AI you might be using in VS Code. So there's a feature called custom instructions in VS Code. Essentially, you can place a file in that GitHub directory in your repository with whatever instructions you want. They can also be dependent on some logic. For example, if an agent is going to be applying changes to a file that ends with .md, read this file, and that file may contain some instructions. So I was actually thinking, for the future, if someone is going to be editing our documentation, for example, with AI, we might create that kind of file that essentially outlines the style that we would like to have on our website when it comes to our documentation, as well as, potential caveats, or maybe mentioning some things that prevent it from common pitfalls and be specific to Flatcar itself. So maybe that is something that we could look into as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cool. All right. Release planning. That is on Matthew and Sion.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, so Matthew already took and discussed about the release that we did. But if you can open up the board. Yes, so we are planning, as it was mentioned, we are planning a release after 2 weeks. That would be around 23rd of March, towards the end of the month, and it would be a minor release for beta and stable, and we would do a major alpha, and it would primarily consist of like kernel updates and stuff. But the major thing is like we would be upgrading. We would be upgrading the beta to stable, so please check your beta deployments, and that would possibly come in around I would say the week of 6th of April, and yeah, and that would be a huge bump. So please test your deployments. It's something, and report issues, so that we can, if there are things that are breaking, we can look at it.
That's a good call out. Thanks for that. So to summarize, there's a new patch level release coming up towards the end of the month, and there's a new major stable release coming up in early April. So if you operate larger workloads, please have a look at the current beta. If you see any strangenesses in that beta, we will have one more release cycle where that beta gets a patch level update before that beta is promoted to be the new stable. So that's your chance to come in as Flatcar users and make sure your workloads work fine with the incoming new stable, and report back to us so we can make sure that the new stable won't disrupt any larger workloads you might be operating. We're confident, of course, because beta has been, so the changes have been in beta for quite some time, and we haven't seen anything, and it literally went through hundreds of test cycles. But I mean, you never know with edge cases and workloads, so please have a look. All right, and that brings us to the end of the community call. Is there anything else you folks want to chat about? You're muted, Bruce.
I think you're still muted.
You're still muted. Don't worry.
Unmute on Jitsi.
I'm sorry. This is a weekly meeting, right?
No. So the community call is once a month.
Okay.
And then in 2 weeks from now, we have a similar call that is more developer centered, and that's the DevSync. So in the DevSync, we literally go through our project boards and discuss individual issues. So it's more work item focused, and this one's more open for the community. It is less structured than the DevSync, but we have 2 meetings a month, and you're welcome to both, obviously.
Great. Thank you.
All right, folks. Anything else you want to share? Then thank you, everybody, for attending. It has been a great call. Very happy to see Bruce and Robin join the effort, and looking forward to collaborate with you folks. Have fun and see you on Metrics.
Thank you, everyone. It's great.